Hi, and welcome back to my darkroom. So today I think I'm just going to take to try and print a couple of images from my recent trip to Paris back in January. I took along my Zeiss Ikon Nettar, the medium format camera that I own, a roll of, what was it? Roll of Delta. And I'd never shot Delta before, and so I decided to just shoot it mostly at night for no real reason other than why not? Let's give it a go. I've already developed the rolls of film. These were developed in Ilford Delta using the recommended settings. I didn't bother pushing or pulling or doing anything. I shot all these at 400, but then I made allowances for the reciprocity of the film. Yeah, let's have a look and see what they look like printed. I'm not going to bother today with a with a contact print. I'll make one of those later. I just really want to get in there and just have a look at some of these images. I've had a look under the under a light, and I think I really know which image I'm going to go for. So yeah, let's see what it looks like. So the first thing I'm going to do is select my image. I think the one I really want to show you first is going to be this one. Let's see if I can turn this light on. Oop. It appears well, let's try that again, because I think I just dropped my timer down the back. The image that I really want to show you, or the image that I'm going to print today is this one on the end here from just looking at some stairs, but it's quite a classic image. I don't know if you can see that. This image here, and yeah, I was looking up some stairs. There's a slight shadow of a person walking. It was about a 3 to 4 second exposure. Let's clean the negative and see if we can get in. So I tend to just use my little brush on the top. And we'll give this and then if we let's take out and just make sure there's nothing on in between the glass plates. Remember, it's emulsion to emulsion and upside down, so this should be roughly the right way up. Put that in, make sure everything is turned off, because I'm going to be using my Ilford multigrade filters today rather than the colour head. So now I'm going to fine tune this to the size that I want. I'm going to be printing on printing this obviously square format today, but printing on the 12 by 9.5 in a, I think I've got mine set up to a 8 by 8, so I'll get my frame out and let's even this up. What I'm doing here is just making sure that my verticals are actually vertical in the image. So that it looks right when I print. And then with this, my universal negative holder, I can also close down certain sections. So we'll just close the top, close the bottom. More importantly, we'll close these sides down very slightly. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to check is the focus. So let's put we got the focus finder. This one's my favourite focus finder. And as I don't have any paper open at the moment, I can just keep this light on quite high and we'll just have a look. I'm not bothering to use this red safety filter yet. Again, what I'm doing here is not actually focusing on the image, I'm trying to focus on the grain. Because if you focus on the grain, then the image itself, if you've taken it in focus, will be in focus. Okay. Now, hopefully, that is in focus. Right, so I'm going to put my safety filter on, set it to my... And I'm going to turn the light back on, in fact, because this makes this next step slightly easier. And let's turn off the enlarger. Right, so I'm going to set my aperture to f8. And now that this is in place, we're going to stick it down with some sticky tape. First of all, we're going to find some sticky tape, and then we're going to stick it down. Now I thought I had some masking tape. Masking tape. All I'm going to do here is just stick that in its exact spot. And don't forget, fold over the end so that you can always use it again. Today I'm also going to use Kentmere's VC Select. This is glossy, this is going to give me a nice deep black. I either use VC Select from Kentmere in the glossy, or I use the pearl on the Ilford multigrade. What I'm wanting from this, because it's a night image, I want to try and get some of those blacks to be quite nice, and it's on the RC paper, so we'll hopefully try and get some nice deep black out of that. First things first, let's turn the main light off, because I don't want to open this up while you're turning off the... Yeah, don't want to open this. We don't want to open this up with the main light on. Ruin the entire box. We haven't got a lot of this left. Now, what I'm going to do here first is we'll make some test strips. And I'll just put you down there. So before we go any further, I'm just going to, I could cut this. Probably should cut it, it would be neater. But right now, this is just a just want to get a rough guide to our different exposures. So I'll lift up this. And then what I'm going to do is I'll do this all with a grade 2 filter. So we've got grade 2 filter, we're at f8, and now we have to determine our time. And what I'm going to do is set this we'll probably set this to 3-second increments. And what I'm really looking for is, what I want is my blacks to be quite nice and dark. And in fact, it's a bit of matte board, which I believe was the inside of a frame, will do quite nicely. I'll just weigh this down. Okay, so we're starting with 3-second increments, f8. Now, what many of you may have just noticed is I forgot to remove the safety filter. So 3-second increments, starting again, f8, this time working. Three. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. And I'll do one last one. 9. What's that? 27 seconds in total, I think. If my maths is right, 9 times 3. So now we'll just go and put this in the developer and we'll see what happens. I don't know if you can see from here, but this is the 3 seconds and then 6 seconds, and it's just really, really dark along here. I think I'm going to have to do a bit more work on this. We'll do another test strip and we will try and determine a better exposure. It's probably going to mean dropping down to f11, I think, and then we'll try that strip again. So that last test strip was just way too dark all the way through. So now what I've done is I've changed the aperture on my lens to f11, so I've brought it down a stop. Hopefully 6 to 9 seconds will be better to view. So let's give that a go. What I might do actually is I'll just do slightly larger images, and I'll do 3, I'll do 6, I'll do 9, and maybe I'll do 12. So. And in case any of you notice again, once again, left the safety one in place. Happens so often. 3, 6, 9, 12. We'll do one more, let's go with 15. And we'll see what this looks like in a test strip. So I'm not sure how much you can see here as well, but if you look at the top test strip, this was our first one. This was 3 seconds, and then we went to 6, 9, and we just got to complete darkness. This is our second one. We've got a lot more detail in here. So this is at f8. This is at f11 now, and as you can see here, this is way too light at 3 seconds. Then we have 6 seconds, 9 seconds. We have 12 and 15. So somewhere around the 9 seconds, I think. Yeah, maybe 9 seconds. You still have this light coming up here, but you get a nice, still some detail in the shadows, but also we go quite dark as well. So I might do another test strip this time at 9 seconds, and I'm going to use a contrast 5 filter, and we'll have a look at how that looks. Okay, so I'll take my contrast 2 filter out, and we'll bump that up to a contrast 5 for the dark areas. And I'm just going to make sure my safety is on good. And we're just going to do an entire strip across, just looking at those dark areas. So this shouldn't affect any of those highlight areas and should just give us some nice darks. It's quite a dark image anyway, maybe this isn't needed, but we'll have a look. What I'm really interested in is going right across, because I know that I've got some light here, shadow, so yes, light's coming across, and then obviously those stairs are quite in shadow. I might need to lower this down and bring it out. So in fact, let's do 7 seconds at contrast 5. None of this is an exact science, this is just, you know, playing, seeing what we can get, seeing if we're happy with the image. If we're not, we play it a little bit more. Right, this time, let's move this out of the way. Okay. Let's have a look at what this looks like. Oh, I'm really liking the look of this. I don't know if you can see it particularly brilliantly, especially with the reflections. It's just sort of sitting in the fix at the moment. But I'm already liking that contrast. I don't even know if I want to play with those highlights actually. I might even just use the base highlight and do an entire print at contrast 5, which I've never really done before. Normally I always split grade and I'll use my highlights at a different level, but at a grade 0 or even 00. I think I'm just going to give this a go. I'm loving how some of this black texture really has been pulled out of the wall as well on this side. I'm not sure if you can see, but those little contrasty parts where the paint's peeling off, I think that really looks nice on that image. So actually, instead of adding in my normally my highlight step, I think I'm just going to do an entire print at contrast 5 and see how it looks. So for this I'm going to do the full print. I use these to weigh this down. I stole this from the Shoot Film Like a Boss YouTube channel. I highly recommend looking at some of his tips, tricks, and just his journey. They're really entertaining. And really it's what inspired me to get more into this, more into darkroom printing. And so yeah, let's get out, put my test strip in the bottom here, and we'll get out a full sheet. So what I've done is, now that I've stuck this down, I can just line this up. So we can line this up, and then I like to occasionally, just to make sure I'm square on, occasionally, you know, small parts can fly out the side and they're not level, and you only notice it once you've got the print. So we'll just make sure that's all square. As square as we can get it anyway. Okay. It really is worth spending a bit of time making sure making sure this is done, because otherwise you can it just doesn't look right on the print and it looks wonky. Then you have to spend some time with mounting it properly, etc. And I just don't have time for that. Get it right. Measure twice, cut once. Get it right if you can. Okay. So what we'll also need is my little doodah window, and then this I'm just going to waft away any hairs or any dust that might fall on during the 7 seconds, and I'm going to be printing this. So 7 seconds, contrast 5 filter, and we're at f11, and let's see what this looks like. And once again, I've left the safety light in place. So once again, 7 seconds, contrast 5, f11, finally. Okay, now what I like to do with my images, once again, I stole this again from the Shoot Film Like a Boss channel. This window is ever so slightly smaller than the actual frame, actual window aperture. And what this is designed to do is to give me a black border around my images. I don't do it for all of them. I do it for quite a few, and especially if you have images that come out of a white background, putting that border really helps to offset, really helps to bring out against the white background, the images. Really helps to pop that image out of the paper. Importantly, the one thing you need to do is remove your negative so that you can shine white light, and then I shine it for 2-3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 seconds will do. We'll pop this back in. Hopefully this will have gone back in exactly the same spot. And then what we do here is remove everything, and we'll see what the image looks like. In fact, for this one, I'll bring you on the journey. So let's have a look. In you go. And we'll start the timer at a minute. Start to see it come through now. It always looks darker under the red light. So I work under the, if it to me looks very slightly too dark under the red light, then it's kind of perfect. And you're on auto ISO at the moment, so you're seeing it as slightly lighter than I am. Okay. So I'm going to try this with one hand. Drain off the excess developer, and then I'm going to move this into the stop. And I normally fix for as long as it takes me to print up another image, so I leave my strips and my images in the fix until I've finished. It's fast fix. This should only take anywhere between 1 and 5 minutes or so, I think, and then it just goes into my rinse. It's not a real wash bucket, it's a rinse. I then wash these prints after for about, well, these are only RC, so I wash for about 5 minutes, and they should all be fine. So it needs to go into the stop for a short period of time just to stop that development from occurring. Nice acidic stop bath. And now this will go into my, this goes into my fix, and then this will go in for a couple of minutes. And now it's in the fix and it's been covered over, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that light up, turn the darkroom light back on, and we'll see what it looks like. Yeah. Yep. I don't know if you can see this, but I am very happy with that. Very, very happy with that. And I'm glad that I didn't use anything on the highlight for the highlights. I think if I had, I probably would have ruined it. Maybe I should, maybe there's an argument to say that maybe these bits up here should be light. But what I really like about this image is the fact that the focus is into this center, and there's almost a natural vignette with these with the darkness, and this is pretty much how the scene was. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll end up washing these. I'll dry these, and we'll see what they look like once they're dried down. Okay, so that's it. I know I said that I was going to do another couple of prints. I did try and film. Unfortunately, my camera ran out of battery, and I'm still not happy with the print that I have. So I'll keep working on my second one, and hopefully show you another time. But at the moment, I'm really happy with that one of the stairs. Yeah, if you like it too, please comment, please suggest other ways I could make it better, or generally what you think. Like, subscribe, and yeah, tell me what you think. Until next time, see you later.